here's a question a little bit different.
Okay.
We have established that the doctrine, the theology of the Trinity was very important to the early church. That's accurate. I think no one here would disagree that in general, in the modern American church, people are not much interested in this sort of thing. And even now, I'm aware. I'm sitting here, but looking out of the corner of my eye, and I'm thinking, are these people sitting out there just thinking, why does this matter? So here's my question. Why does theology in general, and maybe the Trinity in specific, maybe my first question is this: why do you think it is that we as modern American Christians aren't too interested in this?
I think as modern, and we've talked about this in our pastor circles, pastors were our own kind of creature, and as I talk to other pastors, I think we agree that the church in America has really drifted, and it's hard to overgeneralize, but it's drifted from what Jesus really began. I think the church in America, many Christians in the Church of America, they're much more interested in seeking God's hand than seeking His face. Meaning they're looking to get something
what can he do
from
for
God.
Me?
What can he do? What have you done for me lately? That's what they're looking for. And Michael Horton, in his book Christless Christianity, calls it moralistic therapeutic deism. They're moralistic. They want to know how to be better people, better husbands, better fathers, better employees. It's therapeutic. They want to feel better. They want God to give them that goosebump on Sunday morning. But it's essentially deism, the concept that God's far away. They're not interested. And it's an overgeneralization, but I think by and large, those in America that would call themselves Christians are just not interested in really knowing who God is.
All right, here's, since we're going to use overgeneralizations,
all right,
I'm going to make one.
All right.
The church, Christianity began among Jewish people where it was a lifestyle.
Right.
Then it went to Greece where it became a philosophy. Then it went to Rome where it became an institution. Then it went to Europe where it became a culture, and now it's come to America where it's become a commodity.
That's it. It's a consumer culture. We can't overstate that American Christians filter into churches on Sunday morning, going to God Mart. They got their little shopping cart, and they just want to fill it up with more principles and more steps and more techniques.
That's what I say.
And not so much interested in who is this God that we're serving. Who is
All right, follow-up question. Are there dangers with our unwillingness to think seriously about theology and doctrine?
I think there's some subtle dangers. There's dangers I don't think we realize, but there's some subtle dangers there. I think we're afraid of the word theology because when we hear of theology or theologians, we think of the guys with the big white beard and the tweed jacket and the pipe, and they're sitting around arguing how many angels can dance on the head of a pin, right? Yeah. And but the reality is that everybody here
you laugh.
Today,
they actually had that argument in the Middle Ages.
Somebody did.
Yeah.
And the tweed jacket might have been kind of cool with the T-shirt, but here's the reality: is every person sitting in here today, you are a theologian. Whether you got your pipe and tweed jacket or not, you are a theologian. The question is not so much, are you going to do theology or not? Are you going to be a theologian or not? The question is, are you going to be good theologians?
That's it.
Are we going to think rightly about God? And here's what happens: if we don't seriously think rightly about doctrine, theology, who God is, we lose that filter in discerning truth from error. It's easy for the church to absorb the values of the greater culture.
Yes.
I mean, if you look at the Roman Catholic Church in the late Middle Ages, it was a mess.
Yeah.
The Reformation was necessary, and a part of the Reformation was right thinking about God as revealed in the Scripture.
The Reformation was, first of all, a theological movement.
It was. And it was
because
right
to
thinking.
live right, you have to believe right.
Because it affects, what happens is your beliefs, your convictions about who God is shapes how you view the rest of the world. You discern right and wrong in part based on your moral framework and your understanding of who God is. So it's essential.
Because if we don't think rightly about God according to Revelation, Scriptures, then what we do is, without knowing it, over time we form God in our image.
That's right.
And in the image of our culture.
That's right.
So that God just, in our imagination, is just like us and like our culture. And that's when things can become the wheels can just come right off and we can have all kinds of disaster.